Thank you, Joan. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Saturday. Saturday is the day of the week between Friday and Sunday. It takes its name from the Roman god of Saturn. Saturday is the first official day of the regular two-day weekend, and it is a day usually synonymous with sleeping in late, being lazy, or going for a night out. Saturdays will always be a special day for me, as my daughter was born on a Saturday, way back in 1971. Now, before I start, a random fact. In Thailand, the colour purple is associated with Saturday. And in the Maori language, Saturday translates into washing day, which I'm sure most of us will understand. However, in my life, Saturdays has changed so much. When I was a young child, Saturdays were carefree, happy-go-lucky and fun-filled days. Back then, we would play all day outside if we could, skipping, 5 jacks, 2 balls, hula hoops, etc. And indoors if the weather was bad, making camps and singing along to the radio, K Sarah, Sarah, and I'm a little toothbrush. Do you remember those? Then came school. At first, not much changed, but later on, when I got into grammar school, most Saturdays were spent doing homework and research from the local library. Time passed so quickly, and it was soon time to go to college. I went to the local shorthand typing and commerce college. To help me get through this, I had to get a Saturday job. Now it was 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every Saturday. I got a job in the local bakery. I sold iced buns, cakes, biscuits, and every type of bread you could think of. Once I got over my initial nerves, I loved it. But all good things have to come to an end, and it was time for me to earn my full living as a full-time secretary. Now, payday was a Friday. So what did I do on a Saturday? Well, spend, spend, spend. I always went to the markets as we lived in South East London. We visited Deptford Market, Petticoat Lane, East Street and the Roman Market. My mum always bought the vegetables, visited the bread shop and the egg shop, while I would browse around the clothes and jewellery stores. We always ended our trip with a visit to the lovely pie and mash shop. Now, pie and mash is a South East London delicacy. Then I met a man. Things changed again. He was a football fan, so I became one too. Our local club was the Millwall FC. After a big fry-up in the Greasy Cap in the Old Kent Road, we would make our way down with thousands of other fans down the Cold Blow Lane to the Den. Here I had to leave my man and make my way to the terraces, stand-in only, as we were not permitted into the shed area. Women, that is. I saw Eamon Dunphy playing, Alex Stepney and many more. At this time, I was also a member of the Deptford Irish Pipe Band, and Saturdays was often be the day when we went on parades, especially during the month of May. Saturday evenings, we would often play at dances and working men's clubs, which obviously ended in a good old drinking session. Well, then I got married to the man, and Saturdays changed again. We had children fairly quickly, so I was a stay-at-home mum and he went to work. Therefore, on Saturdays, it was a family day. We belonged to a youth organisation, so we often packed up our tent and off we went. It was glorious. The freedom away from inner city London was delightful. We could hear the birds sing, appreciate nature, and most of all, the children could run, jump and hop and skip to their heart's content. weren't supermarkets. You might find that a bit stupid, but it was real for me. When they became popular, I no longer had to shop every day. So as my husband didn't work on a Saturday, I went shopping to the newly opened Sainsbury's, and I loved it. Oh, what a delight it was to get everything in one shop. The children grew up. My marriage broke up. I needed a change. A big change happened, and guess what? I came to live in Ireland. I worked, and then I retired. Saturdays became once again that carefree, happy-go-lucky and fun-filled days. Life on a Saturday has gone full circle for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Maureen's speech this evening, I was intrigued by the title, and I wasn't sure where we were going to go with such an abstract title. But I should have known we'd be in good hands with our legendary storyteller, Maureen. I felt myself smile during the speech, and I think that's because the storytelling quality, the nostalgia, the picture she painted of idyllic times really were just a pleasure to listen to, and Maureen captures that so well. One of the strengths that I've noticed in her speech are her use of words. So even the words she chooses to share with us. So for example, she talked about shopping in Petticoat Lane. Doesn't that sound so much nicer than just shopping on one of the streets? So even that detail she chooses to share with us just adds a certain kind of panache to it. Going to shop in an egg shop, in the name of God, I never knew such things existed. A pie and mash shop. So those little details that add such colour are really a trademark of Maureen's, and I really enjoyed the way she incorporated them. At times the language was poetic. I felt a pang when she mentioned, you know, in very spare language, the children grew up, my marriage broke up. And there's a lyrical quality to that. And I think you really are to be commended for that lyrical writing in your speeches. The structure was impeccable. You started by talking about Saturdays being a favourite day, and the whole way through the circle of life progressed with a strong theme of Saturdays. I thought that was an ingenious way of bringing us through a life cycle and a really strong structure. So that's, you know, masterful. In terms of recommendations, it really is difficult for me to come up with recommendations, but one thing I wondered about at the start was maybe a slightly more captivating opening. So instead of saying Saturday is the day between Friday and Sunday, which we probably all know, or, you know, most of us would know, maybe to invite us to consider our favourite day of the week. So maybe kind of draw us in by asking us what we think, you know, and maybe so that's a question we can reflect on, and then we hear yours. So a very, very minor detail, Maureen, in an otherwise impeccable story, so wonderfully crafted that it was a pleasure to listen to. So thank you, Maureen, for a lovely trip down your memory lane.